So here we have a Renault Kangoo electric van for sale. This is a 2019 ZE33 with a 33 kilowatt hour battery. This is a standard business spec. The battery is owned because it's got the eye there at the end of the badge, and this has got rear parking sensors fitted, which isn't part of the standard spec. And this is the standard medium wheelbase van with a sliding door on the near side, and as you can see, it is nicely lined out with grey polypropylene plastic panels which are lighter and they don't rattle, and then the floor and the box sections are 9mm WYSIDEC non-slip hard wearing flooring. So this lining is all new. Previously there was ply in here, but it needed changing, so rather than refitting ply we installed this much nicer upgraded grey lining kit. And it's got 6 lashing hooks there on the floor, and type 2 charging cable in the bag, which I'll show you. We've got the jack and brace there because this has got a full size spare underneath the floor. And then up front, it's all in very nice condition. And let's just start this up. So we've got DAB radio. This doesn't have air conditioning, that's not part of the standard spec, that's an extra on these, and most of them don't have it, but then that also helps with your range. This has done 22,542 miles since new. So firstly, let's talk about range. So if I use the buttons on the end of the stalk there, I can toggle through the menus, and we can see in this van the recent driving has been at 4.3 miles per kilowatt hour. And I toggle around to the range, and it's showing 132 miles range, and we're probably at something like 95% charged. So the range on these Kangoos with the 33 kilowatt hour battery is typically around about 140 miles. If you drive them very efficiently, you can get about 150 miles range out of them in the summer. In the winter, very much depends on temperature and your heating use, but typically it's around 100 miles at worst in the winter. All the details are on the website and showing you typical ranges you would get with different driving styles. And up front behind the badge is your Type 2 charging port. This is AC charging only. The Renault Kangoos do not have DC rapid charging, and this is a 7 kilowatt charger. So many people will dismiss a Kangoo electric van because they don't have DC rapid charging. But if you can charge at home overnight or at your workplace overnight when the van isn't being used, or can do top-ups throughout the day while you're working, then majority of people will just never use a rapid charger. But of course you're not limited to the range of the vehicle. You can drive further, but any charging you're going to be doing, it will be on AC power, and it's going to charge at about 25 miles an hour. But if you're at work during the day and you charge on a portable charger, i.e. a granny cable, you can top up the range there. But typically, you know, this does 100 miles at worst in the winter, 150 miles best at the summer. That's more than enough in a day for virtually all drivers. So let's put it another way. If you drove 100 miles a day, and of course this van will do that comfortably even in the winter, and you did that 6 days a week, then that's 31,200 miles a year. And of course the majority of small van drivers won't do anywhere near that, and the majority of people will be doing well under a third of that per year. So these are very easy vans to live with if you've got overnight charging. So if you've got a home wall charger, then you've got your Type 2 cable here that you plug into your wall box and into the front of the vehicle, or you can use a portable charger, and that allows you to charge the vehicle with a normal 3-pin socket. So when you use a wall charger and using your cable like that, or your wall charger might have a tethered cable, you're going to charge at 32 amp, which is 7.4 kilowatt. If you use a portable charger on a normal main socket, you're limited to 10 amps. And that's 2.3 kilowatts, so it's going to take longer, but again it will charge the van and add enough miles per night for majority of people, and in the majority of cases it's going to fully charge the van as well. And I can supply a granny cable if you want one with the vehicle, and also do a free loan if you just want a temporary charger until you get the proper wall charger installed. And all that information is on the website, of course. So yes, these vans are still very practical. They're lovely to drive, they're very quiet, they've got nice soft suspension, and the range just isn't an issue for the majority of people. It's just a different way of thinking about it, and what you've got to look at is what you do per day. And there's a lot of tradespeople and a lot of van users which just don't do that many miles per day and will never need rapid charging, and these vans are just great for that. So I've sold a lot of these to gardeners, to tradespeople like electricians and things that just work locally, and also quite a few to sort of private sites like schools, colleges, universities, industrial estates, and all those sort of places where vans are just potting around throughout the day and only doing a few miles a day, or just driving to the local town or whatever. So now let's talk about the condition, because that's the primary purpose of this video, is to show the condition of the vehicle. And if you've seen my videos before, you know I don't hide anything. I'll show you every little minor mark, scratch, stone chip I can find, and then that gives people the confidence to buy the vehicle from afar, and then I'll deliver it to you. And I'm super picky here, and I'll show you things that just most people really wouldn't even notice or care about, particularly on a van. So let's start at the front. There's a couple of scuffs on this front bumper down low. There's a bit of scuffing here, all very minor, and of course this is plastic, so it's not going to rust. And some down here, yeah, a little bit of scuffing there, but the bumper's all still attached and not damaged. It's just very minor surface scratching. And then on the plastic wheel trim here, there's a bit of scratching there, but you always get that because these wheel trims protrude, and you get that on the near side. As far as tyres go, the tyre tread depths are on the website. They're all very good. One of the ones on the back is a little bit lower than the other because I've swapped them around, so they're a matching pair, and then the better tyre, the new tyre, is now the spare underneath. A bit of scratching on this wheel trim. This one's the worst, but they're just plastic wheel trims. They've got standard steel wheels under those. And then this is the worst bit on the van. There was a dent here, and this is being pulled out by the PDI guy, but yeah, still visible, but it's not too bad, and that's it really. I would just add, I've taken pictures of everything in the photo gallery on the website, so you can zoom into the picture, you can see it full screen, and zoom right up and have a look at all the things I point out in detail. Going round the back, very minor thing here, this has got a crack in the plastic, but it's not bad enough to replace, but there's no light behind it. This is a dummy. If that was a light, then I would have replaced that, but that's just a dummy bit of red plastic because the fog light is on the other side. The rear doors are all dent free, which is good because normally they do get dented on vans. Looking round this side, the wheel trim is completely scratch free. No dents or scratches at all down this side on the bodywork. That wheel trim is in very nice condition and scratch free as well. Both the mirrors aren't scratched, and yeah, no dents or scratches in the bonnet, and no chips in the windscreen either. So I did say there's no dents, and there isn't. You would hardly call these dents, but there's a couple of little things I'm going to point out. There is a dent somewhere along that seam, but it's really minor, really minor. So small that I can't see it now, but I've seen it in certain lights, and you always get that where doors open against the van doors. But yeah, I can't see it. There's a little tiny dent there, but it's again one of those that you can feel but you can't really see. And there were a couple in the bonnet, but I'm looking as hard as I can in this light and I can't see them. But there were two I'm sure around here, but they're so minor I can't see them or even feel them today, but I did see it when I was washing the vehicle in a different light. And there is one along here. Again, it's one of those ones which you can't see in daylight. Yeah, it's there. I can feel it, but I can't see it. So that's how picky I am. I don't hide anything. And in the back, there's some scratches at the top there, and a few up there, but it's all very minor, nothing to worry about. And it's a used vehicle after all, and for a van, it's in very nice condition. So for a used van, this is in very nice condition, and I'm pointing out things that most people really wouldn't notice or care about, to be honest. And then inside, door cards are all good, interior's nice condition, as you can see. The seats are all nice. We've got original Renault plastic mats in here underneath the floor is all good. And then on the driver's side, as you can see, seats in really nice condition, no wear on the bolsters. Of course you wouldn't expect it at 22,000 miles. Again, a Kangoo rubber mat, floor underneath is all good. A little bit of scratching on the plastic cowling around the ignition switch there. All Kangoos do that. These are susceptible to scratching, so if you don't get the key in right, the plastic marks very easily. That's sort of standard Kangoo stuff. Steering wheel in nice condition. So yeah, it's all good in here. So these have a FM and DAB radio with Bluetooth telephone as well. Got a handbrake here, we've got a cup holder there, got an eco switch here where you can reduce the power and run it a bit more efficiently. 12 volt socket there. You've got electric windows and electric mirrors. We've got audio controls down there. And yeah, that's it really in terms of equipment. And do have 2 keys with this. And then this is the logbook. The registration date was the 27th of June 2019 and no previous keepers. This come from RCI Finance, Renault Finance, because this was previously a leased vehicle. Current MOT has just been done and expires 26th of June 2025. And then we've got service history receipts here. The last main dealer service was done last month on the 27th of June. No, that's the registration date. Where's the date of the invoice? Right, no, I got that wrong. That's the first invoice. So if we go to the end of the pile, that's 2023. So there we are, 17th of June 2024 at 22,170 miles. I've actually got 32,000, but that's a mistake there. And we can verify that as well because of the MOT. This van has had, by the looks of it, annual services because it had a service pack with the previous owner. So the service book hasn't been stamped, but it got receipts here for 3 services. But looking at this, they've been doing it annually, so it's actually had a service every year. We've also just serviced this as well, even though the main dealer service was only done 300 miles ago, but we just double check everything. And we've changed the cabin filter because actually Renault hadn't done that, even though it was on the invoice. Put new batteries in the keys, new key fob case because the button was a little bit worn, well, dropped on this, so that's a new case on the key fob. New lining in the back. And actually put a new diagnostic cover down there because the Renault garage had damaged that as well, getting that out wrong. They've been using a metal screwdriver and chewed that up. So as you can tell, we just do everything and make sure they're as good as they possibly can be, and all checked out, even though this has had main dealer servicing all its life and had just been done. We've also stripped the brakes and lubricated them because these vans have very strong regen. It's got proper one pedal driving in these vans, and therefore the brakes hardly get used. So typically the pads and discs will last the life of the vehicle if driven efficiently, and consequently the pads, particularly on the back, can rust up and sometimes seize because of lack of use. But we've checked that, and obviously it's all fine because this is still a low mileage van. We've also tested the traction battery. That's still at 96% state of health, which is about what you'd expect on one of these. Now it's turned 5 years old, but obviously a long way from the sort of FUD and the rumours that you hear that batteries are only going to last 4 or 5 years. Again, in reality, the battery will outlast the rest of the vehicle. And typically, as you can see with this example, the battery degradation is about 1% or less per annum. So I think I've shown you everything. Obviously all the details are on the website, and this is ready to go. So if you're interested, give me a call or email. I can deliver these pretty much anywhere in the country, and it will come to you on a flatbed or a trailer, and it will be fully charged and ready to use.